The knock at the door. Present day. Welcome to the channel, and if you like our content, please subscribe. Let me tell you about a rainy Tuesday evening last month. A woman, let's call her Anna, was washing dishes when 3 knocks shook her front door. Not the cheerful tap 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 of a neighbor, but the heavy, hesitant kind. Through the peephole, she saw her younger brother, drenched, eyes red. "They're selling the house," he said. "Mom's sick. We need your help." 26 years ago, that same door closed behind Anna forever when her parents discovered she was pregnant at 17. No tears changed their minds. She raised her son alone, working nights, skipping meals, ignoring the ache in her lower back that never really left. Now, the people who called her a mistake were the ones trembling on her porch. Anna didn't slam the door. She didn't cry. She handed him a towel and said, "I'll think about it." That's the moment I want you to remember. The pause. When life knocks, you don't have to answer immediately. Breathe. Ask yourself, does helping them hurt me? Talk to someone you trust, a friend, a counselor. You get to choose, not out of guilt, but clarity. Family wounds cut deep, but healing starts when you hold the bandage. You've earned that right. Flashback, 17 and shattered. The bathroom tile was cold under her knees. Anna pressed both hands to her stomach, listening through the thin wall. Her father's voice, flat as a judge's gavel. "Choose, us or that thing." Her mother's silence cut deeper than the slammed door that followed. She left with a grocery bag of clothes and $37, stolen from her brother's piggy bank. 17, pregnant and homeless, isn't a sob story, it's math. Nights at the 24-hour laundromat, worn floors. 3 failed adoption calls. They wanted college students. A clinic nurse who slipped her a food bank address, written on a glove. You survive by counting mercies, not injustices. But survival has receipts. The landlord who evicted her after the baby's first cry. The back alley daycare that vanished with her paycheck. The night she boiled a single potato, half for the toddler, half for morning. Love doesn't fill stomachs, but it does bend spines. She worked warehouses till her hands cracked. One more moment. This is the moment I want you to remember. You don't have to answer immediately. Breathe. Ask yourself, does helping them hurt me? Memorizing her son's face between shifts to stay upright. Here's what no one tells you. When you've been your own shelter, no becomes a complete sentence. Not cruelty, oxygen. Anna learned to measure help by what wouldn't leave her son hungry. A social worker taught her that. Protect your fire, she'd say. Even matches get to choose what they light. The girl who knelt on bathroom tiles grew roots in concrete. Nights in the shelter. first tremors of survival. The fluorescent light buzzed like a trapped wasp above the shelter cot. Anna curled around her newborn, praying his whimpers wouldn't wake the woman snoring 2 feet away. But babies don't negotiate. When his cry pierced the humid air, a hand yanked her curtain open. Thick knuckles, hospital bracelet. Shove pride in the trash, the stranger growled, thrusting a warm bottle into Anna's shaking hands. Feed him, then sleep. Survival begins with swallowing thank you. The nurse, Marta, 63, diabetic, taught her that. She showed Anna how to sterilize bottles in the shelter's microwave, where to hide diapers from staff rationing supplies. Nights were lessons in triage. Ignore judgmental stares. Memorize free clinic hours. Let strangers hold your baby while you shower. The shelter wasn't kind, but it was math. 3 meals, a cot, no rain. At 3 a.m., when the baby's fever spiked. Marta appeared with infant Tylenol. "You'll pay this forward," she said. Not unkindly. Not to them, to someone like you. A social worker came mornings, armed with paperwork for housing lists, WIC vouchers, GED classes. Anna learned to nod, take pamphlets, ask no questions. Help cost nothing but shame, and she'd already spent hers. Marta appeared with infant Tylenol. "You'll pay this forward," she said, not unkindly. Not to them, to someone like you. Help cost nothing but shame, and she'd already spent hers. By week 3, she'd memorized the rules. Never leave belongings unattended. Always share toothpaste. Never cry where others can see. The real lesson hummed deeper. Every act of survival chips at something. Her hands grew calloused from scrubbing shelter bathrooms for extra formula money. But her voice grew steadier. "We need," she'd practice whispering to the social worker, "help." When they moved her to transitional housing, Marta slipped a Ziploc bag into Anna's coat pocket. A syringe of Tylenol, a subway token, a note. "Your turn comes later." Anna kept it taped inside her son's baby book for years. Not as a relic of pain, but proof. Mercy isn't free. It's a debt you choose when you're strong enough to carry it. The job that broke my back, literally. The metal shelves groaned as Anna hoisted the 3rd box of car parts that hour. Each one labeled 30 pounds, each feeling closer to 50. The warehouse supervisor had warned her, "Speed or your spot's gone." At 10:43 p.m., her lower spine made a sound she'd never forget. A wet crack, like snapping green wood. She crumpled between pallets, breath trapped in her throat. The babysitter needed cash by morning. The ER doctor, a man with kind crow's feet, showed her the x-ray. A herniated L4 disc. Like a tire blowout, he said. Lifting like that again could paralyze you. Anna stared at the ceiling. Quit the job? Lose the apartment. Keep working? Lose the ability to walk. Her son's daycare photo stayed clenched in her fist. 3 days later, she limped into the social worker's office, the same one from the shelter years prior. I need a desk job, Anna said, voice trembling. Anything. The woman slid a list across the table. Data entry, telemarketing, night receptionist. You'll earn less, she warned. Anna circled all 3. Physical therapy became her new language. Ice packs at 5 a.m. Stretches during lunch breaks. Learning to say, I can't lift that, without apology. The first time she refused a manager's demand to move boxes, her hands shook. But her son's hand in hers that evening felt lighter. Here's what the body knows. Pain is a border. Draw it early. Anna kept the x-ray taped to her fridge, not as a reminder of limits, but permission. Some loads aren't yours to carry. The first time she refused a manager's demand to move boxes, her hands shook. But her son's hand in hers that evening felt lighter. Here's what the body knows. Pain is a border. Draw it early. Anna kept the x-ray taped to her fridge, not as a reminder of limits, but permission. Some loads aren't yours to carry. At 10:43 p.m., her lower spine made a sound she'd never forget. A wet crack, like snapping green wood. She crumpled between pallets. The moment I stopped feeling ashamed. The gymnasium buzzed with squeaky shoes and off-key piano tunes. Anna sat in the back row, gripping a folded program stained with coffee rings. Her son stood center stage, cardboard graduation cap slipping over his eyes. When the teacher called his name, he didn't move, just stared at the crowd until Anna's breath caught. Then he pointed directly at her. "That's my mom," he shouted, grinning. "She works at the blue building with numbers." Laughter rippled through the room. Parents shifted, some smirking, others avoiding her eyes. Heat crawled up her neck. But as her son marched toward her, diploma crumpled in his fist. She noticed his socks. One neon green, one striped. Her socks. The ones she'd darned 3 times. "You're the best," he whispered, pressing a crayon self-portrait into her palm. In the drawing, she wore a crown labeled #1 Fixer. That's when she felt it, the shame dissolving like sugar in tea. The moment I stopped feeling ashamed. The gymnasium buzzed with squeaky shoes and off-key piano tunes. Anna sat in the back row, gripping a folded program stained with coffee, not because she'd succeeded, but because he saw her clearly. Not the girl kicked out, the warehouse worker, the shelter mom, just his mom. Shame thrives in isolation. It starves when someone names your worth aloud. Anna framed that drawing, hung it where the X-ray once lived. Years later, when her brother begged for money, she'd touch that frame and remember, love isn't measured by what you sacrifice, but what you protect. Here's the math no one teaches you. Not because she'd succeeded, but because he saw her clearly. Not the girl kicked out, the warehouse worker, the shelter mom, yet just his mom. Shame thrives in isolation. It starves when someone names your worth aloud. Anna kept the X-ray tape to her fridge, not as a reminder of limits, but permission. Some loads aren't yours to carry. Anna framed that drawing, hung it where the healing isn't a finish line. It's the moment you stop hiding your mended cracks. If you're holding old shame today, try this. Find one object that mirrors how loved ones truly see you. A doodle, a text, a worn-out sock. Keep it where you make hard decisions. Let it remind you, you've already graduated. Their voices on the phone. 20 years later. The phone rang at dawn, a sound Anna hadn't heard in years. Her mother's number flashed, the same digits she'd deleted decades ago. When she answered, silence hissed, then a shaky breath. "Your father, his heart," her mother said, voice frayed. "We can't pay the bills." No apology, just need, sharp as a splinter. 20 years earlier, Anna would have crumbled. Now, her son, a college graduate with her eyes, slept down the hall. Their voices on the phone. 20 years later. The phone rang at dawn, a sound Anna hadn't heard in years. Her mother's number flashed, the same digits she'd deleted decades ago. She watched sunlight creep across his childhood drawings, still taped to the wall. "I'll call you back," she said, calm as closing a book. Families mistake blood for glue. They forget time doesn't erase scars. It just teaches you to walk without limping. Anna brewed tea, recalling the social worker's advice. Write 2 lists, what they ask and what it costs you. On one side, money, time, reopening wounds. On the other, nothing but old ghosts. She called her brother. She called her brother. "I'll cover Dad's meds," she said. "Not the mortgage, not your debts." Her terms were clean, surgical. No explanations. Years of lifting alone had taught her this. You don't set yourself on fire to warm others. If you're facing this call, literally or not, here's the script. 1. Pause. Hang up if needed. Breathe for a day. 2. Separate emergency from habit. Hospitals, urgent. Bad choices, not your currency. 3. Offer only what won't poison you. Money you can spare. A phone call. Information. Never your peace. Anna mailed the check with no return address. Her son found her staring at his kindergarten drawing later. "You okay?" he asked. She touched the #1 fixer crown on the paper. "Better than okay," she said. For the first time, she believed it. Standing in my mother's hospital room. Monsters and choices. The monitors beeped a steady rhythm beside the hospital bed. Anna stood at the foot of the mattress, her mother's skeletal frame barely lifting the sheets. An oxygen tube curled under the woman's nostrils, the same nose Anna had inherited. Congestive heart failure, the doctor had explained earlier, his voice gentle. She's stable, but decisions need to be made. Her brother hovered near the door, eyes pleading. "The nursing home costs," he began. Anna held up a hand. 26 years ago, this woman had chosen a spotless reputation over her granddaughter's heartbeat. Now, her trembling fingers reached toward Anna. Memories surfaced. Cold bathroom tiles, a slammed door, her infant son's feverish skin against hers, in shelter cots. The monsters here weren't in IV bags or diagnosis charts. They wore old faces, whispered, "You owe us." The doctor returned, clipboard in hand. "Any questions?" Anna shook her head. She'd already memorized the key detail. Not contagious. Her son could visit safely if she chose. Choices. She stepped into the hallway, her brother trailing. "I'll pay for hospice care at home," she said. "Not the debts, not the house." Her voice stayed soft, a nurse adjusting a bandage without reopening the wound. "I'll visit when I can." Not because she asked, because I can. Here's what ER veterans know. Not all wounds get closed. Some just need clean edges to heal right. Anna drove home, her son's kindergarten drawing glowing from the passenger seat. The crayon crown labeled #1 fixer, now a compass. If you're in that hallway, 1. Name the monsters. Write every old hurt they represent. Burn the paper if needed. 2. Consult neutral experts. Doctors, financial planners, people paid to care, not guilt. 3. Give only what doesn't bleed you. Time, money, attention. Measure by what you can regrow. Anna parked, touching the drawing's faded lines. Love, she'd learned, isn't a debt. It's a choice you make with both eyes open. Her brother trailing. "I'll pay for hospice care at home. Not the debts, not the house." Her voice stayed soft, a nurse adjusting a bandage without reopening the wound. I'll visit when I can, not because she asked. Check I didn't write. Power in silence. The envelope arrived on a Thursday. Her brother's shaky handwriting. Urgent, scrawled in red. Inside, a hospital bill for $18,000 and a photo of their mother hooked to machines. Anna set it beside her son's old crayon drawing, the #1 fixer crown glaring up. For hours, she stared at her checkbook. Memories flickered. The shelter cot. Her spine's wet crack. Potatoes split between meals. Each scar had cost something. Now they asked her to pay for the hands that exiled her. She called the hospital, paid the bill anonymously. No name, no note. When her brother texted, "Did you?" she left it unread. Silence wasn't cruelty. It was a vault. If you're holding that envelope, 1. Wait. Let urgency fade. Decisions made in calm last longer. Does this help them or just my guilt? Write both answers. Choose boundaries, not punishment. Give only what doesn't erase you. Anna burned the photo in her sink, ashes swirling like old snow. Her son found her laughing with his toddler later. No ghosts in the room. Power isn't loud. It's the check you keep, the call you don't return, the life you built despite them. You owe silence nothing. But her son found her laughing with his toddler later. No ghosts in the room. Power isn't loud. It's the check you keep, the call you don't return, the life you built despite them. You owe silence nothing. Anna burned the photo in her sink, ashes swirling like old snow. Anna set it beside her son's old crayon drawing, the happy crown glaring up. For hours